Hey, what's going on? Parents, happy Teenager Tuesday. We're back here once again. Part 2 of what do I do with my student
doesn't want to go to church.
Yeah. What do I do with that? How do I manage that tension? If you missed last week, go back and listen to it as Pastor Tisha talked about her own experience with her kids and kind of journeying through that. Very encouraging stuff. And this week is all about the practical.
Yeah,
we have a
bunch of tips that we just want to share with you about things that can help in the home and things that I know I've used and we've seen other parents use, and Will's been talking about these tips for a long time, and so we just want to share them with you today. So the first one is when your student doesn't want to come to church, maybe it's their first time, especially maybe on a Wednesday night, and they're like, I don't want to do that or whatever. You need to call your staff at the campus you go to and let them know, hey, my student's coming for the first time on Wednesday night. Here's a little bit about my student. I'd love for them to meet their small group leader. Tell us about your student, maybe the things they like, don't like, what school they go to, because then when they walk through the door the first time on Wednesday, we'll have someone waiting for them to meet them, to be connected with them, someone who we think they might get along well with depending on what they like. And we want to set your student up to win. We want to do that. And so you doing that helps us hopefully create the best experience possible for your student.
Yeah.
So.
We did that at the West Campus one time.
Yeah.
There's a student that came for the first time, had a terrible experience.
Yeah.
We got an email from the mom.
Yep.
And we were like, hey, give us another shot.
Right.
Email back. And we had a couple students that we were like, these are fun.
You got to help
students,
us. Yeah.
And volunteered that were waiting and had a much better experience.
Yeah.
So, let us know.
Let us know.
That might be the biggest one.
Honestly, I think it could be because we can help so much.
Yeah.
But we have to know that your student's coming.
Yeah. Kind of a little bit like you talked about last week. Context is just superior. Like, once we know. You know?
Yeah.
Another thing that you can do, too, is if you volunteer, then they got to come, too.
Yeah,
You're there,
absolutely.
they're there. There's a staff member currently on staff who started coming. Her daughter wasn't the biggest fan, but she volunteered.
Yeah.
And so her daughter came, and it's kind of cool. She found her calling and is now full-time at Hope.
I love
through that, too.
Yeah.
So, you can volunteer.
Yep.
If you're like, I don't know, small groups, that's totally, we can get you on check-in.
Yeah, for sure.
High-fiving at a door.
My husband, my family, we make it a family event. So all 5 of us are there on Wednesday nights. So I'm there as a student pastor, but then my husband comes and serves on our first-time guest team. He helps run that team. He's incredible at that. Doesn't want to lead a small group, but he's really good at that and getting students connected. And then my kids have no choice but to be there. So it's perfect because we're all there. Yeah. So another thing that, just another tip is just a reminder that summer camps, literally summer camp can be one of the most the biggest place that your student can feel connected or get connected, almost for the whole year.
Yeah.
Because it's such an intense place because they're with the same students, the same leaders for days and days, and it's just so fun. And by the end of it, people are just so hyped to be together. Connections are made, friendships are made. I know that happened this year with so many students. I've heard so many stories.
I got an email from a mom actually today who there's stuff going on with their son, and I got an email from a mom saying, just praise report, hanging out. He made church friends. He was so excited about his church friends and camp, and it was just a totally different experience.
That's incredible.
And you're probably thinking well, that's a bummer. It can't just happen.
It's true.
That is true. But get them there next time. Get them there next time. However, the second best connection point is, I would say, is consistent Wednesdays.
Yes,
consistent.
for sure.
Not one Wednesday.
Yeah.
Not 2 Wednesdays a semester. Consistent
Every other
Wednesdays
month,
are going to be the best. And like you said earlier, us being able to kind of set them up to win beforehand. The maybe third best, maybe right there with Wednesdays.
Consistent Wednesday nights.
Consistent Wednesday nights is possibly the movement retreat conference that we do in February too. Lot in small groups done by campus and that kind of stuff too.
Love that. Yeah. And when your student feels connected, man, they just love being here. So that helps them get here on Wednesday nights. Yeah. Another thing that you might hear as a parent is, well, I would go, but I have no friends there. Okay, so what you need to do is tell your student, text your friends from school, let them know we're coming by and picking them up today, and we're bringing them to Hope Students. Swing by Sonic on the way to Hope Students, grab them all a drink. This is a way to get your student not only connected at Hope Students, but also their group of friends. Yeah. We've seen this happen. Yeah. And then their friends are there. And we've seen this happen too. And honestly, helping orchestrate that as a parent is going to be a huge win in your students' lives and a huge win for them wanting to come.
Yeah.
And it's a way that you can help lead them through, like, I don't have friends on Wednesday. You can help with that.
Yeah.
So
well, and there was that group of guys 2 years ago that graduated.
Yeah.
Jared and Dylan and all of them, that they started coming because one brought friends in middle school, and then all their parents then were connected.
Yes.
So, yeah, like that's a big deal.
Honestly, it's such a big deal, and we've seen it be such a huge win again and again at Hope Students. So the more connected you are to what's going on at Hope Students, the more connected your student will be, for sure.
Now, if somebody is brand new and you haven't gotten them to there yet, again, let us know they're coming. Talk with us. We want to email you. We want to talk on Facebook, all that kind of stuff. But also, set the precedent early that it's not one and done. Yeah. Like, man, give Connection a consistent chance. Give it 6 weeks, give it 8 weeks, and set that precedent with them of like, hey, we're going to try this out. We're going to like try to get connected here and that kind of thing. And that could be part, like, I know you're about to talk about some negotiation tactics. Yeah. So like that could be one of those negotiation tactics, kind of, which is really, you're setting a precedent before they even get there, that they're going to come back. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. Well, and I even say it like this, like, you don't send your student, if you're new to the area, you don't send your student to school for one day, and if they don't like it, it's not an option for them to go back the next day. Yeah. It's just something that happens, you know? And so it's kind of the same thing for Wednesday nights. It's just harder, or for Hope Student Services, it's just harder because it's once a week for, an hour and a half. And so it feels a little different than like going to school or whatever. But consistency, man. Yeah. Another tip is, if you have to, don't give in and just say, okay, well, you don't have to go, but negotiate terms. Let's say you have a middle schooler, and we have middle school groups at every campus on the weekend. And so maybe they're like, well, maybe you tell them, all right, well, if you don't want to go on Wednesday nights for the time being, we can talk about that later. Why don't you try Sunday middle school groups? And that's just still a way for them to be connected to what's going on. So don't like set a hard and fast line where it's like, okay, we're not fine. If you don't want to do it, then you never have to do it. Like, revisit it, but also give them, like, hey, on Sunday, why don't we all serve together as a family in Connections? Maybe we're all greeting and then we go to service together, or we're all greeting and you go to middle school groups. Like, make sure somehow that they're connected to the church. And when they are, man, God does so many really cool things. And if they get a foot in the door, oftentimes that's all it takes.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's been so many times that they didn't connect on Wednesday, connected on Sunday, and then connected with people who then
come
brought
on
them
Wednesday,
to Wednesday.
And then
or
it's
Sunday
such a
for
bigger
Prosper.
win. Or to the service.
Yeah.
To the
and I think you hit on something big too, which is kind of the next tip is even just introspectively ask, what example am I setting? Yeah. What am I setting in, like, how I'm involved as a parent in a group, in a church? What is my attendance look like? Like, am I trying to set an unrealistic expectation for them? Because it is not monkey see, monkey do. Yeah. Or it is. It is.
Yeah,
sorry,
it
is. Like,
is.
Student see, student do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You're the prime example of what your student, you want your student to be. So another one, that's okay, because that's the saying, I think. I don't know.
That's good.
So another really good thing is just be the home that, like, call up your student pastor, call your student small group leader and say, hey, we want to have a small group party at our home. We have a pool, or we have a cool media room, or we just have a place for people to hang out, and I can bring food, like those types of things. If your student, if it's hard for them to walk through the doors of the church and get there for whatever reason, then maybe the church can come to them for a little bit, and then they can feel connected in a safe place that they feel, that they're safe at, and they can make those connections in your home so that it's easier for them to cross that threshold during a student service or on the weekend. I just think that can be like such a helpful thing, and it's something that you have at your disposal because
you live there.
Yeah, you live there. So this is what we're doing.
And another thing on you mentioned, like, reaching out to the small group leader. Yeah. Another thing that we've done in the past that we would love to do is, even before they come to a student service or an event, it'd be great to run into them on a Sunday.
Yes, we've done this a lot.
If you let us know that, hey, we're going to come to second service. We'll get there 5 minutes early.
Yeah.
And, you can like have each other's numbers so they can text and you say, I'll be at this door or something.
Yeah.
And then you're like, hey, I'm Tisha, or hey,
Yeah.
I'm Will. And you're like, oh, it's nice to meet you. You know, we're like, oh, this is totally random that it was set up.
Yeah. You know what? I think that every student pastor, every campus is, we have a degree in college about doing this. Like,
yes.
we've done this so many times because so many times students were like, I don't feel connected or whatever it might be. Yeah. And we just make this happen and it helps so much. So we're willing to do that. I think one of the most important things we can do if our student comes to us and says, like, I don't want to go to church, instead of us responding in a way that's like, why don't you want to go to church? Don't you love Jesus? What about your spiritual life? It's so important. Literally, don't freak out. Just ask questions, figure out what's going on, the why behind it, and then us as parents helping lead our student through that season.
Yeah, lead them.
Yeah.
And as you lead them, never give up.
Yeah.
Never give up. Obviously, their spirituality is in their hands, between them and God, and that's their decision. But, man, we can just choose to never give up and do everything that God has for us.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
So we hope that this has been helpful.
Yeah.
Hopefully these tips are.
Yeah.
And signing off today, you can do this. You're not alone. God is with you, and so are we.
Yeah.
Have a great week.
Bye.